Okay, OpenAI just released Operator, and this is something that will actually change your life. It will change my life. It will change all of our lives. And I'm going to tell you why. This is OpenAI's real first production-ready agentic tool. And not like tasks, this is the real deal. And we've known about it for a while, and I'm going to explain to you what it does. So just to remind you, agentic agents mean giving AI agency, giving it the ability to perform tasks on our behalf. And giving AI agency, this is one of the big things we've been waiting for, is letting it do stuff for us. What Operator will actually do is have the ability to do things for you on the web. Like not just search, but actually fill things out, to buy things, to research things in a browser like a human, like you would. And we've seen this. I did a video on this on Anthropic's computer use a few months ago, and that was cool. And Open Interpreter has done this. This is not the first company to do it, but this is the first company to release it on a semi-production ready level with safeguards in place. Right now, it's working in a browser, which is better than Anthropic's computer use, for example, because if you give it access to your whole computer, that could create problems. We need to make sure that this is fully safe and doesn't delete stuff or download bad stuff. And the way it works, like Anthropic's computer use, is it takes a screenshot of the screen and it calculates where to move the mouse and where to type and does enter, and just takes a lot of screenshots to check where it is, kind of like we do. We see what we see on the screen, we manipulate it with our mouse, with our keyboard, and we react to visual elements. So that's what Operator does. It's really cool. It has human in the loop built in, meaning it will ask you questions. It may ask you to log in. It may ask you, are you sure you want this? And human in the loop is what it sounds like. It's putting you, the human, in the loop. It's not letting the AI do everything. The AI will have to come back to you and ask you and clarify certain things with you before it performs tasks. And this is really important. You're able to take control of the browser back, do some stuff. Then you can give control back to Operator. It's really cool. You can just imagine what will happen when you have this tool. If it's filling out forms, if it's buying things, if it's selling things, there's a lot of power here. Now, they're also going to make sure that it doesn't have too much power. Again, there are potential risks here, like downloading bad things. There is privacy risk here. So it seems like OpenAI really thought all this out to make sure they're not releasing an agent that could do stuff on your behalf with your information and harm you. This is a research preview, so this is still an early preview, but it's going to be released to pro users today. So I'm waiting to get access to it. And now I'm going to watch the video with you. So let's go.
Good morning. We've got something exciting for you today. We're going to launch our first agent. AI agents are AI systems that can do work for you independently. You give them a task, and they go off and do it. We think this is going to be a big trend in AI and really impact the work people can do, how productive they can be, how creative they can be, what they can accomplish. We're starting today with Operator. Operator is a system that can use a web browser, in this case a web browser in the cloud, to accomplish tasks that you give it. And we'll show you a demo in just a second, but it's really quite cool what it can do.
Okay, so this is the Operator homepage. It lives at operator.chatgpt.com. It'll be accessible as soon as the live stream is over. Okay, so I'm going to start with something fairly simple. I'm going to use OpenTable and say, book me a table for 2 at Beretta tonight at 7 p.m. Okay.
And so you specifically chose OpenTable.
Yeah, in this case, I'm asking Operator to use OpenTable to book a table for 2 at Beretta. Beretta is a restaurant in San Francisco. It's great. You should try it out. And at 7 p.m.
So it looks like they have some integrations built in, like with OpenTable, but I'm pretty sure you'll be able to use any website with this.
OpenTable in this case, but I could have easily said, just do Beretta, and it would have probably gone to search engine, figured out how to make a reservation as well, but let's see what it does. So I'm going to expand this a little bit. So as soon as I typed in the query, Operator instantiated a completely remote browser. This browser is running in the cloud somewhere, and as you can see, it's already up and running. It knew where OpenTable website is, which is opentable.com. As you can see, it's summarized chain of thought here as well, which is it's gone to the URL, searched for Beretta, and something cool really happened, which is for some reason, OpenTable thought we were in Virginia, and it auto-corrected itself to San Francisco. This is using, so like ChatGPT, in Operator, you can also give custom instructions. So I'm going to show this really quickly here. Okay, so I've given a custom instruction that for queries that.
Okay, 2 things I want to bring up. First of all, this is happening in a browser. This is not happening on your own computer. This is a browser happening on one of OpenAI's servers. Second thing, custom instructions and chain of thought. So first of all, chain of thought. We've talked about this a lot, O1. Maybe it's not using O1, but it's using a chain of thought methodology. But even more important, custom instructions, so huge. You know I love custom instructions, so it's great we're able to program them in here.
That needed, I live in San Francisco. So Operator recognized that and then auto-corrected itself. Okay, looks like 7 p.m. isn't available, but you know what? 7:45 is just fine. So we're going to go do that. Okay, yes, that's great. Let's do it. A very simple interaction as you would have with an assistant, which is, hey, I found reservations, 7 p.m. wasn't available, let's do 7:45.
That's really cool. You don't need an assistant to book you your dinner reservations. You don't have to do it yourself. This is great.
How about we try something a little bit more complicated?
How about groceries?
Yeah, I love groceries. So I have a shopping list here, which is this one. Let's see what it is. Eggs, spinach, mushrooms, chicken thighs, chili crunch.
So it's multimodal as well. I don't think it's based on 4.0. Because they mentioned chain of thought, it sounds like they're using some type of O1 model, but this is awesome. So you can send it pictures and it will also work. Amazing.
And I'm going to use Instacart, which is, again, what we use generally. Can you buy this for me, please? And I'll also specify the store I like, which is, well, let's see if he figures out I mistyped it, but let's see. Okay, so in this case, again, operator quickly actually recognized using GPT-4o's vision capabilities to understand that the image said egg, spinach, mushroom, chicken thighs, and it actually knew. Just like OpenTable, it instantiated a browser, and it's going to go ahead and start doing tests. I'm going to expand the view, and let's see what it does.
So in both of these cases, you've said what you want it to use. If you just say, buy me these groceries and don't specify Instacart, what happens?
It will do a search, use a search engine, much like we do, and it'll find, Instacart or Gus's directly website or whatever else is on the search engine, go through that, ask you questions if it needs clarifications, and go from there. I'm curious what's happening here, though, Ray. Do you want to tell us a little bit about it?
So now that you've seen a bit of Operator, let me talk a little about the research behind it. So Operator is based on a new model we've trained at Openai, which we're calling the Computer Using Agent, or KUA for short. So KUA is a model built off of GPT-4o, but it's also trained to use and control a computer in the same way
Okay, so GPT-4o, I was wrong. Let's move forward.
that humans can by just looking at the screen and using a mouse and keyboard to control it.
This is just using screenshots, no API, nothing, just
No
working.
API, yes. And that's where KUA comes in. By teaching a model how to use the same basic interface that we use on a daily basis, it just unlocks a whole new range of software that can use that was previously inaccessible.
And so this is keyboard and mouse, right? It's kind of using keyboard and mouse. Just
Exactly,
like would.
yes. And that's really what the KUA research project is about. It's about removing one more bottleneck in our path towards AGI and letting our agents move around and act in the digital world.
One more bottleneck in the path to AGI. All right, I'll take it. It's letting the agents move around. It's letting the AI move around in the visual world. It's really cool. Using the mouse and keyboard, wonderful.
So let's make that a little bit more concrete by looking at this task and seeing exactly how Operator is using a computer. So
already done.
it looks like it's already done, but let's go back a little bit to the top here. Okay, so I chose a random spot. The first thing that KUA does when it controls the computer is it looks at the screenshot. So now you're seeing maybe the search results page for eggs in Instacart. So KUA understands this. It's just seeing the raw pixels. And after KUA sees this image, it decides what to do next. So right now, it's making some inner monologues, and this is the summarized chain of thought. So what KUA is doing is, according to it, it's selecting organic eggs and adding it to the cart, which is a reasonable thing to do. So after it does this plan, it then figures out what the next action it should take is. So let's see what it does in the next step. OK, so you see that it performed a click on this add button right here. So that's very reasonable. Now, every time KUA does an action, it takes the next screenshot of the computer.
You know what? I want a little bit more eggs. I think we eat a lot of eggs. OK, so what I can do at this point, and I'm going to just click this button called Take Control. So this remote, as we were talking about, like Operator fires up this remote browser to do it. We almost think of it as a surface area where Operator can work and then I can work. For example, in this case, I took over control from Operator, which is also key to sort of how we think about user and user controls. Like at any point in time, a user should be able to take control and give Operator instructions or tell a little bit more, guide a little bit more, et cetera.
It's like passing the laptop back and forth, just like you did with Ray.
Totally, exactly right. Just like, in this case, I'm going to make those two, and then I'm just going to tell Operator. This is, again, like very much like if you and I were working, I'd be like, hey, I did this. Can you fix this? And I'm going to tell Operator, I added another egg. Good to place order now.
Can Operator see what you're doing during takeover mode?
Great point.
So that's awesome. So you're able to take control of the browser, which is important for many reasons. So you give the operator context of what you did. You tell it the change that you made so that it can pick up from there. And otherwise, it's just going to be guessing what the difference is. So this is huge. This is giving it context. This is really cool.
So when you take over, it's very much just like a session with your local browser. It's completely private. Operator cannot see. And this is part of the reasons why I have to tell Operator. Or you don't really have to. It can look at the last screenshot and try to guess it. But it's really good. It's sort of like if you and I were working together, I went off and did something, and I come back and like, Ray, I completely messed it up. Can you fix this? Gonna have to tell you that. So in this case, I'm going to tell Operator, hey, go ahead. And now I'm passing back the control to Operator. It's a completely private session when you take over control. This is also you'll notice that I'm logged into Instacart here. I did it before the demo. And it's, again, very much like your local browser. When you log into Instacart, until the cookies are cleared, you stay logged in. And we have really good controls. You can go in settings and control and remove at any point in time.
The Lakers are in town this weekend.
Lakers in town, definitely. Can we all go see the game?
Let's do it.
All right. Okay, so we are going to use StubHub. And see, can you get us 4 tickets to the Warriors game, not the Lakers
Excuse
game?
me, you're right.
This weekend in SF. Best seats under 500, please. Give us a few options. Okay.
And so what apps are available here?
So we have a lot of apps in various different categories, as was shown on the homepage. So it's StubHub, Target, Etsy, and all the verticals. But also, Operator is not really restricted to these apps. You can use pretty much, Operator with any website. Oops. Oh, what happened?
Oh,
There was a bug. Did you see how they all just went in? That was funny.
Oops. Oh, what happened?
oh, StubHub is blocked.
Let's see. Let's try to fix it. So this is a good example of, sometimes things happen in live demos. So let's try to do a few more tasks. Australian Open is going on, and I've been very inspired by it. Did you watch the quarterfinals? So I'm going to try and see if I can get a tennis court. I said St. Mary because I live in Bernal Heights. It's pretty close by. And while that's going, we have a big crew here. Everyone's working. And we're really getting hungry. I didn't have breakfast. And I kind of want pizza, even though it's weird for breakfast. But that's OK. And so I'm going to go ahead and order some pizzas. OK. So we're going to use DoorDash in this case.
So we're running multiple queries, multiple instances of Operator at the same time. Very cool.
Looks like in this case, it's already found us tennis courts. And OK, well, we have some selection to make.
Wow, all of the seats are amazing. We thought carefully about how to deploy this safely. The framework we used to think about this was one centered around misalignment. So for example, what if the user is misaligned? So maybe they're asking for a harmful task, like buy a weapon or something like that. In that case, fortunately, we've done a lot of work with ChatGPT to bring over a lot of the same mitigations. So for example, we refuse harmful tasks, including harmful agentic tasks.
So yeah, just looking here, this is the safety risks they took, the things they took into consideration. From the user perspective, like the user's trying to do something that's not legal or potentially dangerous. From the agent's perspective, maybe it makes a mistake and goes in the wrong direction, as it says here. Or from the website, prompt injections. Pretty much, what if it goes to a fraudulent website that tells the agent, hey, do something bad? So they took a lot of things into consideration here. Take a look at it.
We have moderation models, we have post hoc detection, we have blocked websites. And I'm kind of rattling off these mitigations, but that's really how we think about it. It's this stack of mitigations that each incrementally reduce the risk to the point where we feel comfortable deploying. So we feel pretty comfortable with our approach, but obviously, safety is an ongoing process. We can't predict everything. So we hope to learn a lot from this deployment and iterate on our mitigations as we go.
OK.
So how reliable is this in practice?
Yeah, so we've seen a lot of cool demos, but again, we want to remind you that Operator is a research preview. It will make mistakes, and it is not perfect. That said, we can look at a few benchmarks and kind of quantify how good Operator is right now. So one of the first benchmarks that we're going to look at is called OS World.
So I'm assuming what they're benchmarking against when they say previous state of the art, SOTA, is Anthropic's computer use or Open Interpreter's tool. There are other tools that have done it, but those are the two ones that come to mind and I think are considered state of the art. So they're claiming that their computer use model, the thing we're seeing today, Operator essentially, is significantly better than previous state-of-the-art models, both computer use and browser use. And then they're also comparing it against a human's benchmarks, pretty much how good a human can use computer use in the browser. So it's pretty good. It's definitely an improvement on previous state-of-the-art. I would like to know what state-of-the-art models they're referring to.
Well, in the last, 15 minutes, I think I did all my errands for the week. Got my groceries, hopefully. We'll see. We'll check on the status. And this is really, I think, where we think Operator is very, very valuable. We can delegate a lot of tasks that you can do, obviously, yourself, but you can delegate it. We can make a lot of progress with you. Sometimes we'll get stuck. As we said, it's early. And one last thing. We're launching this today. We're going to start slowly rolling it out right now. By the end of the day, everyone on Pro in the US will have access. But also, we're working on the API. This model will be available in the API, and we'll be launching in a few weeks.
So that is Operator. Really cool. I'm so excited to try this out. I think it's going to be amazing. And I forgot to mention Mariner, which is Gemini or Google's computer use browser tool. They announced this a few weeks ago. I haven't played with that yet, but this is just so cool. We saw a human in the loop. We saw the safeguards. We saw the benchmarks. I think this will be very, very useful for everyone. I think this is going to click for people and saying, wait, I'm just not talking to ChatGPT or Claude and getting outputs and putting it into emails or resumes or whatever you're using it for. This is actually able to control the browser for you and get things done for you in a safe way by one of the top companies in the world, by Openai. So this is such a big deal. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you want me to try. What's your feedback? And I will release a video soon after I start playing with it and show you my first impressions of actually using it. So that's it for right now. Thanks for watching and have a great day.